Hey, hello, my friend, Sergio Gomez here. What if there were 10 commandments for your art career that if you follow them will really help you achieve greater success in your art career and your art business?
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Well, my friends, welcome back. I'm always super excited to be here. I was doing some digging into the web and I realized that I have an article, that I wrote 10 years ago in 2014 that is called The 10 Commandments for Your Art Career, right here. You can actually Google it and find it, that has received thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views from my blog, The Art Next Level Journal. And this is an article that I wrote back then, with the purpose of, doing something fun about this kind of like 10 commandments or 10 ideas that when you apply them as an artist will help you advance, succeed, accelerate, your art career further. So what I want to do in this episode, because when I wrote this article, I didn't have a YouTube channel. So now that I do, and thank you guys for watching, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. I want to go over this list of 10 commandments and see if they still hold true 10 years later. Let's see if they still apply. And I'm going to make comments on each of these as well. And I think the last one is perhaps the most important. I think it's super relevant today. And I'm going to even add a bonus, a bonus commandment, an 11th one, which I think you're going to love. Because I think that one, it's an update for kind of the world that we live in now in 2024 or whenever you're watching this video. So let's go, my friends, to the 10 commandments for your art career. Kind of like this idea came from this story of Moses, right, in the biblical times, receiving the 10 commandments in stone for the people. And so I'm like, I kind of like that analogy, that idea. And so I have my iPad. This is not a stone pad, but this is my iPad, right? So here they are, the 10 commandments. Let's go for them. Number 1, you shall be responsible for your art career. That's commandment number 1. You shall be responsible for your art career. And this is the idea of you cannot blame others for your own shortcomings as an artist. You cannot blame others, for the things that you have not done as an artist, for the choices that you have done as an artist. You cannot blame the circumstances for the things that you have not taken control of your art career. That, the reality is that as artists, what we choose is the defines, the path we're going to continue on in our art career, right? So I cannot blame somebody, because such and such told me to put prices in my website. All of a sudden now the art gallery got upset and doesn't like me anymore. So now it's that person's fault, for recommending that. You cannot blame anybody. You are the one who you took that advice and you actually went and you changed it. And now you have problems with your gallery, right? Without consulting with your gallery first, if you have a gallery. So, and vice versa, right? I was told never to put prices in my art. No wonder I cannot sell anything from my website. Exactly, right? Again, you took somebody else's advice at random, you applied it to yourself, and now you're blaming that person for ruining your art career. And the examples can be going on and on and on forever. So that's number 1. You shall be responsible for your art career. Let's go to commandment number 2, which I think is also really good. You shall not expect a portfolio review from a curator, a gallery owner, or director during an opening night. And I'm going to also add here, during an art fair. So I think now this is totally appropriate during an art fair. Yeah, we cannot expect, to walk around with a portfolio or, or a phone with a bunch of pictures ready to show, a gallery owner, a curator during the opening, because that's working time. I'm a gallery owner, 33 Contemporary Gallery now, almost 20 years, I may add. And, when the opening comes, we are working. The staff of the gallery is working, checking the floor, making sure the artist has everything they need, making sure that the people that you invited are coming in. When they come in, you want to welcome them. You want to make them feel special. If anybody has questions, inquiries, sales, anything, that is not the time for you to come and grab the curator or the gallery or the assistant, for 20 minutes going on and on and on about how messy your art is, or the amazing things you're doing in the world. Because that person, I guarantee you right now, if you paid attention to you for 10 seconds and now is scanning the floor to see who they need to go talk to and how they can escape this really awkward conversation. So definitely you should not expect a portfolio review from a curator, a gallery owner, or director in an opening night. Unless, and here's the caveat, unless, that curator, collector says, you know what, let me see what you have. Let me see what you're doing right now, which it has happened to me. Sometimes I had the opportunity to look at an artist's portfolio online, maybe because it was really early and we were still waiting for guests, or I was outside waiting and for somebody, and while they came, well, I talked to an artist. So, but you want that to be the invitation to you and not you impose that to somebody else. So that's commandment number 2. Let's go to commandment number 3. We want to go through all 10 of it. Number 3, you shall be thankful for every guest that comes to your solo show. And I remember when I wrote this commandment number 6, you shall be thankful for every guest that comes to your show. I remember like sometimes, with my friends and so on, other artists, I remember, that an artist had a show and was kind of upset, because certain people did not come and didn't even take the time to thank those who actually showed up. I guess he was expecting a much bigger crowd, and when that didn't happen, he was kind of upset. And, So, this is that idea, right? It's from that point forward, whenever I see a person walking to my gallery or a show of my own work, I have to make sure I say thank you. Even if I do not know the person, just a quick thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Because that person could have been doing something totally different today. And out of the million things they could have chosen, watch a movie, watch Netflix, go to the restaurant, go to another show, visit another artist or another gallery. They chose to take the time to walk into my show or into my gallery. And for that, I'm super humble, super honored, and super thankful. Again, be thankful for everyone, and, don't underestimate the presence of anybody who's in your show. That's a good one. Let's go to number 4. Again, we're going to over the 10 commandments of your art career. Number 4, I think is also a good one. You shall not assume that the curator remembers all of the details about the installation of your work. And I remember when I wrote this point, I wrote it as a curator myself, on the hat, wearing the hat of the gallery and the curator, where so many times, in conversations with artists about the show or upcoming exhibition, they assume that you remembered every detail and every part of the conversation and how the artwork should be installed and this and that and that. And, the reality is that you're not the only artist that curator is working with. They're working with your show and maybe 3 other shows that are coming up and maybe another guest show that they're doing somewhere else. So, there are all kinds of details that's impossible for the curator or the gallery working with you, to remember. Therefore, you always, and this is a great advice for everyone, you always want to over-communicate. In other words, if you already explained the curator, the best way to take care or hang the particular works, also included in the email that you send the gallery, and also print it out and include it, attach it in the bags, attach it to the back of the artwork. Because here's what happens. A lot of times, it's very common when the curator is looking at the artwork online, and then by the time the curator read the email, it's like, okay, great. The bags arrives with the artwork. A lot of times there are installers who are also working in installing the show. It's not necessarily the curator is going to hand every single piece. So this really helps out as the curator and the team, begin to plan for the show. If your artwork has a special hanging instructions that are attached, so they install it right away, they can start getting ready. When it's time to hang it, everything's nice and smooth. All right, number 5. So we're halfway into the 10 commandments of your art career or for your art career. So number 5, and this is a good one, dry and ready to hang means dry and ready to hang, okay? I cannot count the number of times my fingers have, end up with paint or a shirt with paint for a painting that was received that's still wet. And sometimes you can even still smell it, particularly oil painting that's still wet. When a show, when the submission form says your artwork must be dry and ready to hand. That's what it means. There's no other way around it. And if for any reason it's not, what you need to do is you need to contact the gallery ahead of time. Say, hey, this was a little tacky. Be careful. Or again, put a mark in the box in the inside, so when they open the box, they know that there are some probabilities that it's not fully dry. So this is important. Also, ready to hand, meaning before you bring your show to any gallery, make sure that the attachments, whether you use hooks or wired or D-rings, whatever system you use for your artwork, make 100% sure that they're still secure. Let's talk about number 6. You shall have all your promotional materials ready. Again, 10 commandments for your art career is number 6. You shall have all your promotional materials ready, right? When the gallery asks you, hey, we need your bio. Don't wait 5 days to send your bio. Hey, we need your artist statement. Oh, I'm still working on it. And days pass and you're still working on it. Or your website is out of date. Or your Instagram, it shows pictures of your breakfast, but not of your art. As an artist, as a professional artist, you always want to be ready at any given time to send your bio, to send your artist statement, to send what I call also a press kit, because artists who are in my program, in the Artist Next Level program, they know about the press kit because we have talked about it quite many times. And actually, many artists in my program, they have gotten exhibitions because they have a press kit ready to send to somebody who inquires. So, right, they get a business card, at an opening that they went to, the curator, made a good impression, and the curator says, hey, send me some information. As soon as they get home, they can go and write a nice email, attach their press kit, and boom, I really impress that person, impress the curator, or the gallery owner. So you're going to have all those materials always ready to go. I always have an exhibition proposal ready to go where all I need to do is, switch some things around, change maybe a couple of the artworks, to pertain to this particular person who I'm sending it, and it's good to go. I don't have to do anything from scratch anymore. So let's go to number 7. Again, here in my tablet of the 10 commandments for your art career. Number 7, you shall not take rejection letters as personal attacks. This is a good one. You shall not take rejection letters as personal attacks. Believe me, I'm an artist too, and it hurts when I'm rejected. It hurts when I submitted to a show or a residency program or a grant and I didn't get it, right? I get that rejection letter, sorry, but you were not chosen. Do not hate the curator or the gallery because they did not choose you. The reality is that unless you're on the other side of the desk, it is really hard to really understand this, right? It took me a long time until I became a gallery owner and then a curator, and then I'm invited all the time to jury exhibitions, to realize how difficult it is to select a show and to have to say no to so many artists who apply, who could be also potential amazing participants in the exhibition, but for whatever reason, did not make the cut. And it's nothing personal. It simply sometimes, there's just too many paintings, and the gallery does, wants to show a little bit of variety, so it has to include some photographs too, and some sculptures and some other things, or vice versa. There are too many photographs, and the gallery wants to also include some other mediums. Or sometimes could be that, their gallery is not big enough, and so they have to pick some more works that are smaller versus larger ones that are amazing. So out of the big ones, they might only pick 4 or 5 because otherwise, there's no space left for anything else. So, those are the things that have to happen when you apply, right? Same when you apply for a residency program, they have to look at all the people that are involved too. Are you a good match for this group of people who are going to be working together, right? Maybe they already have too many sculptors now. Maybe they want to bring in a painter. So there are all kinds of different things that happen behind doors that you do not know about. And so do not hate the curator or talk about the curator or unfollow them on social media, on Instagram, because they did not accept. It's not that they don't like your art, it's just it didn't work this time. And sometimes, that curator may pick a different piece, right? On a totally different show. All right, that's a good one. Let's go to number 8. of the 10 commandments, number 8, you shall invest time in networking and community building. That's a good one too. You as an artist, you need to invest time in networking with others and building community. Community is one of the big values for me as an artist. So when I wrote this, we were 2014. We were 10 years into starting the JoviArt Center and the gallery, and we were all about building community in the south side of Chicago. And it was a really amazing time for us. And we were meeting so many artists, and hundreds of people were coming to our events. And I wrote this because all that, as amazing as it was, it took time, right? It took time from my studio, it took time from my career, but it was so important. And I saw that as an investment. And I can tell you now, 10 years after I wrote this, I'm today benefiting from the investment that I made 10 years ago. If there's one thing you may remember from this video, hopefully it's that one too. It's all about people. It's always all about people. So invest time, working with people, getting to know people, connecting with people, and being nice to people, right? Gotta be nice to people so that they're also nice to you. Nobody wants to work with difficult artists, with naughty artists, with people who are just difficult to work with. So you don't want to be that artist. All right, number 9, we're getting to the end of the 10 commandments. Number 9, you shall not lie on your resume or CV. That's a good one. You shall not lie on your resume or your CV. And I should have this one like with thunder coming right as I speak. You shall not lie on your resume or CV. Just like that. Because, my friends, this happens. I review, resumes all the time from artists that we're working with or that we want to work with, and so on. It's getting better now. Again, I wrote this 10 years ago, but it's getting better now because there's more transparency, easier to Google things and to find people and to look at social media, see if such things exist. If you had a show at Rosita's coffee shop, don't go to your CV and say you had a solo show at Rosita's Art Center, right? Because Rosita's coffee shop is not Rosita's Art Center. So, you are a little bit exaggerating the facts, right? So that, to me, falls into the category of lie, right? And I remember when I wrote these 10 commandments, I got a lot of comments from people about this one, number 9, said, that is so true. How many times we emphasize, exaggerate, things in our art career in order to make them sound much better than they were actually were. And that brings us to number 10, which I think is really good. Out of the 10 commandments of your career, I think this one is super important, and I'm going to add one more again as a bonus. So this one is number 10, the 10 commandment of your career. You shall be patient and persistent. This is not about something, you should not do, but it's actually something that you should do. You shall be patient and persistent. Patience, my friend, they say is a virtue, right? And in the art career, patience is a double virtue because artists who are patient, who wait for the right time, for the right opportunity, for the right connection, for the right moment, when that moment comes, they can capitalize on that moment, right? And along with patience comes persistence, because well, I'm going to wait, and I've been waiting forever, but then persistence is about working. So it's both, you wait, but you work hard, you work hard. That's persistence, right? You continue working, you continue knocking on doors, you continue connecting with people. One gallery said no, well, guess what? There are thousands more. One art center said no, well, you continue moving. One curator said no, and that's okay. It was not the time. You just keep on moving. Sometimes 10 years later, that curator is going to say, yes, this is the time. And that has happened to me, and also has happened to me as a curator, working with an artist who at that moment wasn't right. It wasn't the right moment, or the work was not there yet, in my opinion. But they persisted. They continued working, and working. And eventually, they were in my shows, or they were part of the gallery, or things like that, right? Because that was persistence, and there was growth, and there was patience. They did not give up. They did not say, well, person hates me or whatever. But there was patience and persistence. And I found in my many years working with many artists that artists who persist and are patient, eventually get really great opportunities. regardless of their talent, which is another point, even regardless of their talent, there are artists who are very talented, but who are not patient. They want everything quick and fast because they think they're the best, and who are not persistent enough, so they don't get the opportunity. So those two things working against it versus artists who may not have that huge of a talent, but they are very patient. They're working hard, diligent, persistent. Their art gets better. They become more mature, and now they get better opportunities because of it. They're not trying to look for the shortcut. In other words, they are not trying to look for that shortcut. They're making their way by working hard. So that's something, my friend, that you may want to also think about as the number 10 of the 10 commandments for your art career. And I'm going to add one last one, which maybe you have heard me said, as I look at these 10 commandments for your art career that I wrote 10 years ago, and you can still find it in Google, this article. And the 11th one, the bonus I'm going to give you, which is really good. Just because you posted it once doesn't mean everybody saw it. You have heard me probably say that one in my podcast and some of my videos on Instagram. Just because you posted it once doesn't mean everybody saw it. In our minds, as artists, when we go to Instagram, we go to social media, you have a show that's coming up or a big event, or you just release a new painting or a new body of work, and you go and you post it once. And in your mind, like, I did the marketing. Now everybody knows it's out there. The reality is that when you post in your social media, it's said that about maybe 15%, 20 in the most, on a good day, of your audience will actually see the post. That means about 75-80% of people in your audience had no clue you had a show, had no clue you had, a new painting, has no clue, of the open studio that you're doing next week, because you only posted it once and you assume everybody saw it. Say, okay, Sergio, I'm going to post it twice. Well, do the math. So a lot of times the same people that saw the first one may have seen the second one plus a few more. So that's why you got to keep sharing consistently in different ways. So if I have a show or if I have an event, if I'm doing a release, for example, and that has been one of the big secrets of many of my sold out releases that I have done, is that, I have this thing that's called the Ultimate Marketing Calendar that is inside of my coaching program, which you should sign up. If you're not part of the Next Level program, you should sign up, because there's all kinds of amazing things, including this Ultimate Marketing Calendar. It's a 4-week process to promote your shows, to promote anything that you have scheduled. And it's all about that. It's about getting visibility, right? About getting visibility for the things you want to do, so that there's no excuses, so that people know what you are doing in different ways, right? You don't want to put the same post 20 times, because that doesn't work either. It's all the variety of things, all the different strategies that we do, that will be a whole entire different video. But that's the 11th one, right? Just because you posted it once doesn't mean everybody saw it. So, my friend, these are the 10 commandments of your art career, which are still, very important in 2024. They're still, relevant today, even though I wrote them 10 years ago. They're still really good. You still should pay attention to these things. You should still think about this just as I am doing right now, because I think they're all relevant. None of them have, lost their relevancy. I think they're all very important, even I think more now, because how the world has changed and how much we work, within also a digital environment. I think it's super important that we think about these things and we continue working. And if you want to really take this even to a greater level, you want to really push them to the next level, to a higher, notch, and really achieve greater success. Well, that's why we have the program inside our Next Level that's called the Art Business Growth Challenge. And the Art Business Growth Challenge, which is a 7-week challenge, will help you take everything that I mentioned, plus a lot more, looking at all the aspects of your art career, and help you grow your art career in your mindset, how you think about your art, your wellness, how you feel about your art, your studio practice. If you feel stuck in your art making, it will help you with that. With your art business as well. Super important, right? How does your artwork goes from your studio out into the world? Will help you create a business plan. I will help you look at your art statement, your artist on a mission statement. It will help you also look at your marketing, give you strategies, sell, so that you can, sell more art and experience greater success, find more art collectors for your art. Everything is packaged. It's not like one of those programs that you learn something a little bit and then you got to go back for a little bit or go somewhere else somewhere else. We compartment everything together into one package to make it an amazing, amazing challenge, 7-week Art Business Growth Challenge. You can find us at theartistnextlevel.com. Sign up for the challenge. We always have amazing offers that you can take so that you can try it, you can get it started. And I hope to see you there. I'll work with you in the challenge. You can ask me questions there, and also our team of coaches can work with us, and you get to meet hundreds of artists from around the world who are also working with us at any given time. So thank you for watching, my friend. This was really awesome. And I'm going to look into my archive, see what other really good articles I have written in the past that maybe we can bring them back and talk about it. Have a good day.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.